What's up guys, Leaf right here, welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be discussing 3 cameras that are budget friendly. We're going to be putting them through the ringer stay and see which one comes out on top. So make sure you stay tuned, don't go. Alright guys, welcome back. So if you're new to my channel, the kind of things you'll see is reviews, tips, tricks, tutorials for the budget filmmaker slash creator. So if that is something you're interested in, consider subscribing. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get into this video right now. We're going to be reviewing 3 budget camera options from 3 of the biggest camera giants in the game right now. The Panasonic, Sony, and Canon. And the cameras that we're going to be reviewing is the Panasonic GH4 that I'm shooting on right now, the Sony a6100, and the Canon M50. Not gonna go into any of the specs, that's not what this video is about. This is just about showing how they perform. So what we're gonna be testing out is the overall image quality, autofocus, vlogging test, and slow motion. So those are the kind of things I'm gonna be reviewing and showing you how each camera performs. I'm not really gonna get into the ergonomics, which one feels better in the hand, because the one I'm shooting on right now, the Panasonic GH4, wins that hands down. These two can't compare to that. That thing is built great, has buttons, dials galore, customization for days. It's got so much on it. So when it comes to build and ergonomics, there's no contest. So we're not even gonna get into that. You already know who the winner is. So anyway, so that's what we're gonna be doing. So we're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna get out there and start shooting and let you guys see the results, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. So don't go nowhere. test on the GH4, just using the onboard mic. I don't have a mic connected to it right now, but this is arm fully extended at a 24mm full frame equivalent. This is the field of view you can expect with this type of lens. But overall, it's a good vlogging camera. It can get a little bit heavy, and since it has no IBIS, if it starts getting a little heavy, you kind of get that shake because your arm might start shaking a little bit. But this is the vlogging experience you can experience with the GH4. Alright, so now we are on the Canon M50, shooting with the Sigma 16mm f1.4 at a 24mm full frame equivalent, approximately 24mm, maybe more like 25-ish. But so this is the vlogging experience field of view you can kind of expect with this lens, with this camera, which I do recommend this lens with this camera. I recommended it with my Sony as well, so amazing lens. But I think with this camera, shooting in 1080p, so we get the dual pixel autofocus, so you'll get a great vlogging experience with this camera, I think. So this is kind of what you can expect with the Canon M50. So now we're going to switch to the Sony a6100. Oh, before we switch, also this is the Canon's onboard mic. I don't have an external mic connected to it. So alright, now we're going to switch to the Sony. Alright, so here's the vlogging test on the Sony a6100. Same full frame equivalent, about 24mm full frame equivalent with the Sigma 16mm. Great autofocus, whether you're in 4K or 1080p. Looks good. This is the kind of field of view with this lens you can expect, and this is basically the performance you can expect. Autofocus will not fail you. Alright guys, so now we're gonna finish off this video. Hold on one sec. Alright guys, back inside. I'm not gonna lie, it was hot out there. It was really hot. I think it got up over 100 degrees today, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited about that. I'm waiting for it to heat up with everything going on right now, so I'm hoping the increase in temperature is gonna help things out, but only time will tell. But anyways, you saw the footage of all three cameras, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about how I feel it went and my overall decisions as far as how I think each one did and which one is the overall best camera. When it comes, I'm gonna start off with the Canon M50. Slow motion, it only shoots in 720p. Not a lot of people use 720p. I mean, it's nice to have, but overall the slow motion on the Canon M50 wasn't that great. It just didn't hold up compared to the GH4 or the Sony. If I had to pick a winner when it comes to the slow motion, the Sony wins hands down. Can do 120 frames per second. The overall image quality just looks better than the GH4 and definitely better than the Canon. So I would say the Sony did a lot better when it comes to the slow motion. But the Canon still did very well with the overall image quality, even though it was only 1080p that I shot in, because the 4K, if you all know, has a huge crop and you lose the dual pixel autofocus. The only time that I did use the 4K is when I did the B-roll of the cameras. I used the 4K in manual focus with the Canon. But again, the 1080p is more than good enough. It looks, I felt like it looked really good. It was sharp, detailed, colors look great. The autofocus held up great. But is this the overall best camera out of the group? I would say not. Where I'm going to be using this mostly is kind of my run and gun camera if I want to go out and do a quick vlog or any kind of social media stuff. That's what this is going to be for. That's going to be like, I won't say it's my everyday driver kind of camera, but just if I need a quick pinch, need to go do something, this is the best one for that. The fiddliness is by far the best, or lack of fiddliness I should say, because you can control everything from in front of the screen. The frame rate, the autofocus, the white balance, the color profiles, or how it's going to look, I said the white balance, all the settings, aperture, shutter speed, ISO, all that you can control right on this lovely touchscreen right in front of the camera. So this one wins when it comes to just overall ease of use. The GH4 is fairly easy to use. You can control some settings from in front of the camera, but just not as much as you can on this. The Sony, on the other hand, you can't control anything from in front of the camera. So if you set it up, look at it, and you see it's not quite what you want, you have to go back behind the camera and do what you need to do. The screen is not touch screen at all, other than just focusing. You can touch the focus. That's the only touch screen feature that this camera has. So when it comes to fiddliness, the Sony loses, hands down. When it comes to autofocus, GH4 dead last. We all know Panasonic has horrible autofocus. I'm not even gonna get into it. So Panasonic loses. So really the race for first place comes down to these two. And in my opinion, the Sony wins. That autofocus is just so accurate, fast, responsive, whatever word you want to use. The autofocus on this thing is amazing. So yeah, Sony wins on that, hands down. When it comes to image quality, I will have to say the last place finisher would be the Canon. Even though I think the 1080p looks really good and it's a great 1080p, even the 4K looks good on the little bit that I used, it doesn't hold up when you compare it to the GH4's 4K or the Sony's 4K. Now, which one has the best overall image quality in my opinion? Hurts me to say this, but I'm gonna have to go with the Sony. I think the Sony just has an overall sharper, crisper 4K, not by a lot, but it does. And maybe it's good, well, it probably is, because it's that 6K image that's downscaled to the 4K, and that gives it that extra sharpness, detail, but it's hard to beat. That image is just amazing. So I won't say hands down, but yeah, the Sony wins when it comes to the image quality. The GH4 still has an amazing image. I love the image on the GH4, but this one, again, like I said, it just has an amazing image. So they all have their strengths and weaknesses. To me, like I said, this is going to be my run and gun. Pick it up, go, do something quick. If I don't want to fiddle with cameras too much, this is the one I want to go with. Going on family vacations when we can actually do that, this will probably be the camera that I take with me, just because it's so much easier to deal with. The GH4, I like it as my talking head camera. I would gear it's a lot towards the filmmaker side of things, because there's so many features on it, so many different things you can do, so many different ways you can customize it. It's hard to beat that. It does so many things well. But as an everyday vlogging camera, because of the autofocus, I would say I like it better just more as what it is right now, as just a talking head, or if you're taking it out doing specific shots, so you're able to be behind the camera and, you know, rack that focus and make sure things are focused. The GH4 definitely does well with that. When it comes down to just an overall the best camera, I have to go with the Sony for a lot of different things. I'm not, good thing I was on the carpet. The Sony is just overall probably the best camera out of the group, due to the image quality, due to the autofocus, due to the size of it, just how compact it is, how unintrusive it is. It's just very small, light, compact, which I like. The only thing I probably really don't like is just the fiddliness and the screen, that it's not touch screen. I'm getting used to the top screen. I do like the flip screen better, but I am getting used to this. So just overall, as an overall camera, you know, B-roll, filming camera, vlogging camera, I feel like this is the top out of the three. But again, they all have their weaknesses, they all have their strengths, and I would have no problem recommending any of these cameras. It just really depends what you're using it for, and I have different things I'm using all three for. So this is gonna be my main driver for most things that I do. This is mainly gonna be my talking head, and that's gonna be kind of my run and gun vacation camera, whatever you want to call it, or B cam, that kind of thing. So anyways, I think I've rambled on long enough. This video is probably gonna be longer than I wanted it to be, but it is what it is. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If there's any content you guys want to see, again, like I always say, leave me a comment, let me know. Gonna leave the playlist for other videos right up there somewhere, so make sure to check those out, and hope you guys are staying safe, staying healthy, and have all that good stuff. Let's try that again. I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy, and we'll see you next time. You guys have a good one, and talk to you soon. Bye.